wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up.
Good morning Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning Barbados, good morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Morning to you.
Good morning to you on this Thursday, December 12th, 2024. Morning, Barbados. So good to have you with us on this beautiful Thursday. It's been quite some time since we had some drizzles in the morning. That became somewhat of a regular everyday thing for a little while there, but the rainy season is a little ways behind us and we're looking to Christmas. I'm Tisha Hines. I'll be here until 8 o'clock this morning along with the crew, and we'll be visited by some very interesting people. We're also going to get to do some really interesting things like jingle and win for Christmas. That is right. Here I go with my corny jingle thing. So when you hear the jingles, all you have to do is call us up on 228-5562 or 228-5563 for a chance to win. That comes your way with the compliments of Standard Distribution and is powered by Flow as well. So you definitely should keep on watching to find out a little bit more about that. We are also doing the What You Gonna Gimme for Christmas promotion all across CBC. So we want you to watch Morning Barbados, but as you're on the move and you listen into the radio stations as well, if someone calls you, particularly if it's a strange number, and you know you put your name in, you definitely have to answer your phone. What you can give me for Christmas? And then you get a chance to win. And there are fantastic prizes to be won in that competition as well. So we're making sure that you are well taken care of. We are stuffing those stockings this Christmas. Fellas, don't read into that. I mean the ones that hang up. Okay? Also, wanted to let you know, we are sponsored by Jordan's Supermarket. 4 fantastic locations to serve you better. They're located at Fairchild Street, Baxter's Road. You can also find them on the West Coast at Fitz Village and up north in Speightstown as well. And they have a big promotion going on. Make sure you are a part of that promotion. When you head on in store and spend $50 in cash or more, you get an entry form. Put your name, address, telephone number, and so on that entry form, and you can be a lucky winner. The draw happens at the end of January 2025, but until then, there will be weekly draws at each store. So from large TV sets to $200 shopping vouchers, you name it, it's all available at Jordan Supermarket, our partner for the season. So make them your stop to be able to head on in and win with that big competition that they are calling the Eat and Win. That's right, for the rest of the season. Make sure you head on into Jordan Supermarket. I had an opportunity to go into their Speightstown branch yesterday and had quite the time rolling through the aisles. Spend and Eat competition 2024, $100,000 is up for grabs. Make sure that you get in on that action. It's 6:15 in Barbados and across the Eastern Caribbean. Now, we love to highlight the work of positive young people and what they're doing. So today is no different, and you remember these faces. They've been here before, and now they're back. Chad Ford, who is member of the Youth Subcommittee for Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition and former president of the Medical Students Association at UE. Good morning and welcome. It's so good to have you with us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, and good morning, Barbados.
And also here with us is Joshua Grant Desire, fourth-year medical student and member of the Youth Subcommittee with the Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition. It's good to have you back as well.
Good morning, Tisha. It's lovely to be here.
We were having some good times, kind of laughing even before we came on air.
Yeah.
So hence the wonderful styles. Of course, around this time of year is really interesting. You know, the way that we kind of approach what we do. And I don't even know if it is all the way cultural, but some of it is. Everybody's like, even the people who you know are kind of eating clean and healthy throughout the year, at Christmas, they're like, this is my time to splurge. So you guys are definitely making a move to ensure that you are sharing more information around this time of year so that people understand that you still have to go in moderation no matter what time of year it is, or despite wanting to have a good time. So talk to me a little bit about the coalition before we jump into this initiative.
I can take that. So basically, us as youth advocates for the Childhood Obesity Coalition program, what we do, we are the voice for young people. We go around schools, so therefore there is a school nutrition tour that we have been going. We are going across Barbados, spreading what we learned in classroom and trying to apply it to our daily lives. And I think it's very important for us who have the knowledge to share that knowledge so others too can have that knowledge so that we can make waves across Barbados. Because we have seen an increase in NCDs in Barbados, and especially in young people growing up. I would think, oh, it's only older folks that would have these NCDs, but now we're seeing a spike in these numbers with children having the NCDs. And I think the coalition, we want to see children in the future. We want to see our children healthy and living to their full potential. And it's very important for that, because if there's supposed to be a future for our children, we need to protect that now. And I think that is what our coalition is all about. We're here to spread the message that we do have so that others can live healthier lives. I'm not sure if Josh would want to take on anything from that.
Go right ahead, Josh.
So definitely, as a youth subcommittee of the Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition, as Chad said, we really are just trying to pave that way. Barbados is one of the many countries worldwide that has signed on to United Nations Conventions of the Rights of the Child, that outlines that all children have the right to a future. They have a right to health and safety. And in order for children to secure that future, it means that we have to provide the environment. And so we understand that in order to provide the environment for them, we must be able to reach them where they are, and that is in their schools with our school nutrition program, within their homes, with their parents, in their communities. And so we have been having different projects that we go into different spaces to ensure that they understand. And as you said, in the Caribbean, we have what I would call the obesogenic environment, where it's very easy for us to get foods that are highly processed, that are high in fats, salts, or sugars, because they're so easily accessible, especially for children, and the marketing that is done to that age group. And as we celebrate Christmas this year, and everyone is in the joy of the season, we really want to ensure that this time that persons understand that, yes, we want you to enjoy, we want everyone to have a great season, but everything must be done in moderation. We spend around $64 million a year in Barbados treating the effects of non-communicable diseases, a massive bill. We have 1 in 3 children in Barbados are actually obese or overweight, and that is something that we are continuously fighting.
Yeah, I mean, like, this conversation is happening at a really interesting time. Just this week in the US, a young man filed a lawsuit against some major companies. And the lawsuit suggests that they made ultra processed foods and marketed them specifically to children.
Yeah.
And he now is in his early 20s and is suffering from fatty liver disease and type 2 diabetes. We know that the US is a very highly litigious society. However, I feel like these things call attention to things that are almost unspoken, that we never really talk about. So with that said, what pushed you? Like, what was the deciding factor for you, Chad, in saying, I want to step forward and be a part of this cause. I want to do a live takeover of what's happening.
So basically this stemmed from younger childhood, always being that person to speak up, always being that person to advocate for young people. And I think that increased are, I would say, that fueled my interest for advocacy more when I was at BCC and I did natural science. I was always the one to always speak out for change. I was always the one to be at the table to make those changes. And me wanting to become a cardiothoracic surgeon, and especially for pediatrics, children, I think that really stemmed from me volunteering at the Heart and Stroke Foundation in their youth program to see the changes that I can make in that area. And I was like, if I can make a positive change here in this small area, imagine what I can do on a larger scale. And I think the IG lives that we have now, we reach more people because this fight is not just us alone. It is our parents, our circles, and if we have that message, it's very important for us to share that message. So I think we reach a larger scale. And there's a saying that each one reach one. So that is the goal that we're trying to achieve. We're reaching one person, that one person can reach another because we need everyone on board for this.
All right, Josh, you're now fourth year. Last time you were here, it was Medical Sciences Week, and you guys were doing like the open day and so on. And many of your professors were talking about how committed you were, how well you were doing, that you were a model student for a lot of others in your program. How do you feel like you leverage that, even in being a part of this, to share the message that you want to put across about the challenges young people are having with being able to make good choices? Not necessarily that they're simply not making good choices, but sometimes everything else is so readily available that they really don't have the choice to make a good choice.
So I think at the core of medicine is that altruism, that love for persons that propels you to think more of prevention than cure. And I think that's something that has been taught to me also by my lecturers in the faculty. They have really emphasized that, you know, at the end, yes, we can treat, but the main goal of medicine should always be to educate and to prevent. And because of that, I think I've always been motivated to say, let's curb this from the beginning. And when we think about the demographic, especially children, one thing I think we have in our favor as a youth subcommittee is our age. We're able to relate to them. They are able to see it in us. So they are able to ask us, you know, a few years back when you were in secondary school, how did you manage? And I think that really helps us. And since we're using platforms that really target the youth, things like Instagram, it allows us to really meet them where they are. It's kind of like we're on a path and we're meeting them halfway and asking them to meet us halfway. Yeah. And I think that has been really amazing. I know Chad spoke about our lives. We had a live last month in November that Chad and I would have been presenters on, where we just spoke about No Sugar November. That was started by a broadcaster, I think a few years ago.
It was Shane Jones.
Shane Jones, yes. Yeah. Talking about that and healthy living. And then this month, for December, we are doing holiday health with some of our other coalition members. Our co-chair of the coalition committee, Miss Nicole Griffith. We also have some other youth advocates, Miss Kabira Foster, Mr. Timon Howard, that come from different spheres of life, fitness, education, that are there to really help and push that message of let's have a holiday healthy lifestyle where we eat in moderation, we look at our portion sizes, and we consider how we can get some of our very unhealthy practices more healthy. So I know we love our macaroni and pie. We can be considering doing our cheeseless macaroni and pie.
Oh, man.
And I heard this hit. So that is what we're doing. And I think as youth, it really gives us the opportunity to not just see our side, but to see the other side of the coin. Because even though I think as a younger member of society have that experience, when I'm able to interact with secondary school students now, I'm able to say, hey, this is how you think. And I think I was also thinking that at this age, and this is what changed it for me. Yeah. And I think that really helps.
All right, good stuff. When we come back, we're going to take a look more at the lives that you guys are doing on Instagram. You have a third installment that's coming up that we most certainly want to tune in for. But I'd also like to maybe take a peek back at some of the other topics you've covered and hear from you your thoughts on some of the policies that have changed within the schools, how you see that impacting the overall drive.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all coming up next. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, welcome back to Morning Barbados. We're still here with Chad and Joshua, and we're talking about the work that they're doing with the help me out, fellas,
Heart and
Lives.
stroke.
Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition.
Yes.
Yes, it is quite the mouthful, but you guys are doing fantastic work. So let's double back to all that has happened. There's been much talk about the school's nutritional policy. Your thoughts on how you think young people are relating to that and how effective it is or can be.
I think overall, generally, young people are a bit apprehensive originally to the idea of, hey, this is my usual snack, this is my usual drink, and you're telling me you want to take it away. But I think overall, when we've had the opportunity to go into schools, primary and secondary, on our Cool School Nutrition Tour, which is really just aimed at us bringing awareness to the school nutrition policy, explaining why it exists, explaining the benefits of the policy and why we are fighting for it, explaining that overall from primary school level, so from reception, getting those healthy habits in all the way up to sixth formers. I think that has really been able to help with some reception of the policy, explain to them why it is necessary. So there have been changes made in schools where the consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages has been banned in an effort to really, as we said, fight the non-communicable diseases, reduce our problem with childhood obesity in Barbados. And yes, I think that's one of the main changes that we have seen in schools, but the policy does encompass way more in terms of setting out guidelines of how canteen concessionaires should actually carry about business, and overall not just the drinks, but the food that should be consumed on compounds.
Chad, based on your engagement, your interactions through the lives on Instagram, and through engagement with other young people, whether it's through the Heart and Stroke Foundation or just the going into schools, engagement on campus and so on, what do young people want?
I would say that young people want affordable and accessible food. People want to live healthy. People want to eat healthy, but are there alternatives, or are there cheap alternatives for them to eat healthy? And I think that was a main concern. I know Josh and I, we spoke on that on our IG Live back in November, trying to see how best the Heart and Stroke Foundation can sit down with the policymakers so that we can have, those sessions that we can reason out how we can make healthy food, more affordable and accessible. Because when we look around, we see so many fast food outlets. How many healthy outlets are there that children, parents can go to to eat healthy? The next thing within the policy are what we're trying to target within our IG lives is reach parents, because parents are the ones that have the money and they're the ones to buy these things for the kids. And usually sometimes their parents that would go for the, I would say, the unhealthy option because it's cheaper, and usually the more expensive one is not in their budget, so they tend to gravitate more to the unhealthy side. So we're trying our best to see how we can make the healthier options more accessible and affordable, because it's really a concern, and we want to try our best to see how we can help in this regard.
Yeah, a buzz phrase that we hear a lot about is meeting people where they are.
Yes.
And we talked about that before. Are we truly meeting people where they are? Because there's a lot of information out here. We're constantly
Yeah.
sharing information. We're talking about it every day, but I think it's getting people to kind of put it in action is
Yeah.
what will make all the difference.
Yes.
So what do you think can be those things that tip the information?
Yeah.
Listen on the back. So people feel like, oh, I'm selling natural juices. You pass people on the roads every day, they're selling natural juices. But what are they doing? Mixing it up. It's all sugar. There's no real nutritional content. So how do we get to a place where we're creating a space where people can get this information that they need about the food they're eating so they can see the harmful challenges that might come in the future? I think that's the challenge for us to be able to work together. How do we make that happen?
I think it lies in collaboration, it lies in communication, as you said. I think there is a huge breakdown when we talk about where our communication that goes in. So yes, we communicate well. I think we have a wealth of knowledge out there and an entire body of information that persons are easily able to access on these topics. However, when we think about collaboration with persons, as you said, civil society, policy, governments, and then private institutions and the general community, I think that's where we have the breakdown. So yes, on one side, we're saying, hey, we want you to eat healthy. But on the other side is, okay, yes, we want you to eat healthy, but are we equipping you sufficiently to accomplish that goal? And as Chad said, we do have problems in terms of accessibility. So yes, we want children to eat healthy, but the options to eat healthy are probably few in schools. And as soon as we go outside of schools, in many instances, there are no healthy options for students to choose. There are always all the things that are not allowed into the schools are right on the perimeters of schools. So as soon as you leave, you're able to just hop back into a different environment. And I think that's really our problem. And then when we think about, as you said, when we think about the commercialization and we think about the marketing of many goods, they are marketed in such a way that the unhealthy ones are normally in those spaces and you don't see the healthy alternatives. So even for children, when we look at things like school events, we will see that a lot of the sponsors of school events may present unhealthy options. And so when these are the options that exist, those are the options that are chosen. And I think that not just translates or relates to children, but also into wider society. Because as Chad said, when you are on your way home and there's a fast food chain that's easily accessible compared to a healthy option that will take longer, then that would stop persons from actually going and getting a healthier option. And many times after you sit in the traffic that is leading into many of the fast food chains, persons may say, well, after this, I don't want to stay any longer. But I think that really, because of the lack of accessibility or lack of collaboration between governmental agencies, civil society, there really is that issue and that breakdown.
I see you nodding your head in agreement with everything that your colleague said. For you, what's the future of advocacy for young people like yourselves? Certainly looking to move into the medical profession.
Yes.
So it will move at some stage from not only advocacy, but being your day-to-day, your everyday thing to do. So what do you think is the future of what you guys are doing? Or what do you hope? I don't want you to SpaceX for us, but what are your hopes then?
My hopes is that we have a healthier Caribbean, a healthier Barbados, and that starts in securing our children's future. With the, as I said, with the increase in NCDs on the rise, we're trying to prevent premature deaths, and if we can prevent that by sharing what knowledge we do have, I think that can go a long way. And we're here to bring as many people as possible on board, because we can't do this alone. There's no one-man show, there's no IAing team. We need as many hands. As they said, many hands make light work, and we need those individuals to rally with us, sit at these tables with us, let others hear their point of view, so that we can, make that change that we do need. And I see myself continuing my advocacy work, because this is something that I love. And when I love something, I put my all into it. And I want to bring along as many other medical students. I want to bring along my family, because I want them to live healthy. I want to bring along my friends as well, so that they can have healthier living. Because when we do eat healthy, as they said, what we put on the inside is a reflection on the outside. We look healthier, we behave, we smell, our skin starts to look healthier. And I want others to know that there's a healthier option, and I want to spread as much advocacy, as much knowledge as possible, so that others can know that there's a healthier option.
Gustav, what about you? Your hopes for being able to make really positive changes with the work you're doing?
So I really hope that we're able to catch more persons in the community, actually to get them understanding and into our sphere. And I think a good opportunity to do that would be at our live tonight at 6 p.m. on Instagram. You can join us at the Heart and Stroke Foundation Instagram. It's HSF Barbados. Instagram tonight at 6 p.m. we will be talking about holiday health. But outside of that, I think one of my greatest goals is truly to, meet people where they are. I think one of the propellants that stands for me entering the medical sphere was to dedicate my life to the service of humanity, to help persons, regardless of creed, class, wherever you are, to help them understand the importance of health and good health, overall good health, and to see the benefits of taking care of themselves, whether that be physically, whether that be through nutrition, whether that be, through their psychological or psychiatric health, their mental health. And so what in the future, as Chad said, I really think that I will be continuing with my advocacy efforts. I really am enjoying my time working with the other youth leaders on the Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition. And I believe that as we progress, we will be able to branch out to make sure that we expand our work. And I think that's really
I see a life in politics for you someday too. We don't know. Let's see. We'll wait and see. Have to wait a few years. But look forward to that live tonight. Chad, who's going to be on the live. I will be there, but on the other side of it, as you guys take over. So who's going to be presenting?
Yes, I would be there, but I wouldn't be one of the presenters. Kabira, she would be one of the presenters. We have one of our co-chairs, Nicole Griffiths, and one of our youth advocates, Timon. Those are the individuals that will be presenting tonight at our IG Live.
Looking at holiday health is very, very important. You can't kind of drop the ball. I hear there are some people who say, I'm getting fat for Christmas, and they maybe joke about it, but, given culture and so on, I know that we can all make better choices. So thanks for your advocacy, and we definitely have to work toward it, particularly as we look to a new year, where at the beginning of every year, everybody wants to do a little better and make better choices. So we know it's about putting that into action. Right, Tishia? Right. All seriously, so thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
All right, time for a break here on Morning Barbados, but we have much more coming up, so stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action. Brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited, Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet.
You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, welcome back. It's just about 17 minutes to go before 7 o'clock. Remember, Morning Barbados is brought to you with the compliments of Jordan Supermarket. 4 fantastic locations across the island. 2 in Bridgetown, 1 in Baxter's Road, the other on Fairchild Street, and then 1 up north in Speightstown and 1 on the west coast there in Fitz Village. So conveniently located, great parking. You know, you don't have to worry about those things. Make one of those locations your stop this Christmas, and you can get in with a chance to win big with their big promotion. Up over $100,000 is up for grabs. So make sure you are part of that. And there will also be weekly draws as well. I'm joined on set now by Heather Critchlow, who can now add the title of author to her name. So good morning, Heather. It's wonderful to have you here.
Good morning, teacher. It's really nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. When I say here, I mean Morning Barbados, but I also have to kind of backtrack and put your business out there because this is Barbados. You know how Barbadians do, right? So you're visiting. This is your first Christmas in
25 years.
25 years.
Yes. I visit every 4 years since 1989, but this is my first Christmas. I'm really looking forward to it. My sister's coming in from New York, and my brother's coming in from Atlanta. So, and I have 3 siblings here, and so we'll be together for Christmas.
For the first time all together
really
in 25 years.
Yes.
That must mean a great deal to the family.
It does. It does. We're really looking forward to getting together, having our Bajan food, and talking about our history and what we've been doing, and all our memories from in the past, you know, when we were growing up. So we're really looking forward to it.
Now you're here with, to share with us about this book that you've written, and it kind of embodies some of the stories that you might have heard in your travels, in yourself migrating and things of that nature. It's called Paul Immigrates to Canada.
Yes.
And you said that you started writing this book from as far back as the 90s.
Yes, I did.
Let me put that in perspective. The late 19th century.
It seems that way, doesn't it? Yeah, I started writing it. And then life got in the way. I started working and all that kind of stuff. So, but then I decided, okay, I have to finish it because now I'm a grandmother. I'm also a great-grandmother. I have
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I have a great-grandson who is 6 months yesterday. And I thought that I would like to write some of my history down because there comes a point in your life then you want to ask your parents all this information, and sometimes they're not there. And this is what also happened to my mom. So I decided I'm going to start writing my stories. I have quite a few stories I started, but I've decided that I'm going to get on board and get it done, and this one's done, so I'm pretty pleased about that.
That's beautiful. Now, what got this particular story to kind of jump to the front of the queue of all of these stories? And despite the fact that you had started writing the book, what do you think made this most important for you? That you wanted to put it down on paper in this kind of way to be able to share it?
Yeah, I think it's about having the great-grandson and also having my granddaughter. I thought that writing the story would give them the information that they would need or they would want when I'm not around. So basically, just to have some history of myself, and my family, and having her father immigrate from Barbados to Canada, So we did that. We didn't do it together. My mother brought him up, but that would have been a little bit boring. So I thought that I'd make it him coming on his own, traveling on a plane and that sort of thing on his own.
Yeah, was it difficult for you to kind of intersperse some real life stuff into this story that you're going to be kind of sharing with the world?
Not really, because I think Barbadian life is really wonderful. Bajans have the history of looking after their kids, and there's the grandmothers that look after their kids and make sure that they have proper manners and they're brought up correctly and they go to school. So that also is a little bit in the story. One of the other things I have in the story is about the Windrush generation. A lot of people don't know the history of that.
Send for them,
yeah.
Which is the core of what this story is about. Send for them,
yeah.
Which is the core of what this story is about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how important is it for us to kind of share this with this new and even more discerning generation?
I think it's pretty important simply because that is the history of a lot of Barbadian people. I was able to go to a couple of schools. I did about 12 classes where we went through the story. And a lot of them had grandparents or great-grandparents that went to England. And a lot of them didn't know about the Windrush generation, but when I brought it up to them, explaining that this happened a lot, especially after the Second World War, lots of people went to England. Women went also as nurses. And they were really interested, and especially the ones that went to their family members went to England. They thought, well, this is really wonderful because they didn't know that history, and I had some interactions with them afterwards, and it was like, this is really amazing. I'm glad I wrote that in the book.
And this is your son's story,
basically.
So with some bows and ties and flowers and a few different twists and turns, some adventure as well. But what are his general thoughts on you sharing this story? And you said that you want to make sure that his child now has the experience of knowing and has something, a story that you've shared in a tangible kind of way. But what are his thoughts?
Well, he's pretty pleased about it. And when he read it, he had some laughter there. He asked some other questions about especially him being on a plane, which is not exactly true, but by himself because his grandmother brought him up. But he liked the idea of me getting this story out, and also for his kids because it is history. It's also to be able to share because he's the only kid, and the opportunity to share with his cousins who are also in the States and all of that, and his family here to know what he went through. There's also in the story, of course, you go from Barbados to Toronto. He meets his uncle in Toronto, and then he goes to Regina to meet his mother. So even though meeting his mother was fine in real life, it gave him a little bit of laughter, and he was pretty pleased that I was able to to form it so that there's a little bit of conflict there when he meets his mother because of the time frame and the promises that she had made to her.
Yeah, what do you hope this will do for other people? I understand wanting to share it with your clan, your family, your descendants. But what do you hope this will do for other children? You mentioned that you've shared it in other schools and you've been able to go around and share it with some young people already.
Yep. I hope that the people basically of the Caribbean will like the book, simply because a lot of Caribbean people went up to England. I don't know what they're doing now, but during the early 50s, 60s, there was a lot of immigration. So this could be also their story, leaving their kids behind, sending for their kids eventually, and that sort of thing. So I hope that they will read it, they understand it. And there may be some emotional ties there, because they know that this happened and someone has put it out there. Not only they can also share it. I mean, if they read the story, it's not only for kids, but they could also read the story and say to themselves, yeah, you know what, this really happened, and maybe I can discuss it with you. And you know my history a little bit more, your grandfather's history, So I think this hopefully will open some doors to some conversations with their kids.
And speaking of conversations, you mentioned that there are many other stories that you're looking to share sometime in future. So do you think you might be going into some offshoot stories from Paul immigrates to Canada?
Yes, I am thinking, actually, I've just started one that Paul goes to school. He's the only black kid in the classroom, which really happened to my son. And there was some conflict there, and the teacher's not understanding him, and the kid's not understanding him either or wanting to play with him. So I have that. I've started that. So that's something I'm working on. I'm also working on another one called Caribbean Hurricane. And that is going much better than the other Paul one. So
yeah, what does writing do for you? I see, tremendous joy as you talk about these news stories that you're working on. What does writing do for you?
I love writing because it shows where I come from, what my history is, and to leave something that's tangible for my family makes me want to continue. And like I said, I started this a long time ago, but I feel that I'm on a roll and I'm getting stuff done. And it's like every night I want to write, unless I have to talk to the publishers and that sort of thing. But I just feel that it's something I need to do at this stage of my life. So.
In this particular one, Paul immigrates to Canada. Is there anything, as you were writing it, that you kind of thought about, should I write this or, shouldn't I? Anything that was, maybe a little emotional for you in sharing within the confines of this open space that is now a book?
Well, when he has conflict with one of the students or one of the so-called friends, in the apartment compound where he lived, that was a little bit emotional because something like that actually happened. But I wanted to put it in because also with books, you have to have some sort of conflict happening. So I thought, okay, I'm going to put this in because it's something that actually happened and maybe other students or other kids can relate to it. I keep saying students because I'm a teacher and well, so lots of people can relate to something happening like that. In Canada now, there are a lot of colored immigrants, and at that time there wasn't a lot. I mean, we could walk down the road and see a black person and say, "Hi, how are you doing? Where are you from?" But now we don't seem to do that. So that also comes in because this is when there were not a lot of black people around. And what sort of thing they may have gone through or what sort of thing their kids may have gone through. So, yeah.
What funny stories are there that you share of Paul's journey to a new place, a new space, and kind of getting to know all about it? Because if we're talking about the dynamics of what can happen, as much as we have maybe a few things that can be deemed a little negative going on that he was able to turn around, obviously, as he's here, there must have been some funny moments as well.
Well, there's funny moments because when he's in Toronto, he is on a little truck thing that they move from airport, for arrivals to departures. And he's amazed that there's so many people there at restaurants. There are more people than he have seen before in restaurants. He's also haven't been to eating restaurants because in Barbados, I don't think the chef was there yet, but in restaurants in Barbados, if you're a poor person, you don't do that.
It was like an ultra fancy thing to eat in restaurants.
Yes, it was. It really was. Yeah, so he's amazed that all these people are in the airport eating in restaurants and people moving, and he's on the cart and people are moving out of the way when the driver of the cart says to the left, to the right. So he's really excited to be in Toronto. And while he's in Toronto, he goes to the restaurant with his uncle. He doesn't have a lot of food, but his uncle have food. And then in the morning they go to breakfast, and the breakfast is all laid out, and they just eat. He also is amazed about a hotel because he hasn't been in a hotel, and he said to my uncle, this is the first time I've eaten in a big restaurant like this. And this is the first time I've been in a hotel. Yeah. And the uncle laughs and says, yeah, you're going to do a lot of things. The first things now you're here in Canada. So, yeah, that was...
So it's all about sharing the experiences. Where can we get the book to be able to experience all that Paul did as he immigrated to Canada?
The book is being published by Friesen Publishers. They have about 50,000 bookstores that they send books to. It will be available through them. So
can we grab it online?
Definitely.
All right, so that's the place that we need to direct people to. You don't necessarily need to find an actual bookstore, but once you can get online, you should be able to buy it online and ship it or get a digital copy. That's how it works these days. So look out for it. It's very interesting, written by Heather Critchlow, and it is called Paul Immigrates to Canada. Sounds really, really interesting, and I most certainly look forward to hearing more of Paul's story. I hope you and the family have a wonderful Christmas. It's great to hear you're all going to be back together after 25 years. Enjoy.
Thank you, Tisha. Really will. Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to be here and to talk to you about my book. I really appreciate it.
Heather's going to be back when she does the others in the series. So we look forward to having her here on Morning Barbados, even if it's remotely when she heads back to Canada. All right, time for another break, but stay with us. More is coming up on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Great to have you for the morning report here on Morning Barbados. I'm Tisha Hines. Barbados has recorded its highest homicide rate in a single year, with 2025 just weeks away. Attorney General Dale Marshall has described the nearly 50 cases as alarming. Anesta Henry has that story.
The Barbados situation has been highlighted at the opening of a two-day Regional Security and Justice Summit hosted by the Attorney General's Office and the Inter-American Development Bank. Attorney General Dale Marshall says 49 is an alarming figure considering the island's size.
For you, 49 may not seem like a significant figure, but 49 homicides in Little Barbados is a big thing for us. But even that statistic speaks to even more concerning social concerns, since of that number, 49, 16 were as a result of stabbings and bludgeonings. The others were from firearms. That 16 that were the results of stabbings and bludgeonings suggests that there may be underlying mental issues, conflict resolution issues, or anger management issues that we also have to embrace and grapple with as countries.
The Attorney General acknowledges the region has to formulate a common plan of action to address the issues of rising crime. He says Barbados therefore welcomes the establishment of the Alliance for Security, Development and Justice, which will be launched tomorrow.
Its objectives, which focus on the protection of vulnerable populations, building institutional capacity in law enforcement agencies, and stemming illicit financial flows, are problems with which the Caribbean region is grappling. This alliance follows on the heels of our own efforts within the region. Last year, under the chairmanship of Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, the region's heads convened in Trinidad and Tobago to examine crime and violence as a public health concern.
Vice President for Sector and Knowledge at the Inter-American Development Bank, Ana Maria Ibanez, says countries have been working together to structure the Alliance initiative.
And the Alliance will serve as a catalyst for joint efforts across diverse actors. It will strategically complement existing networks who are present today, bringing added value to the ongoing work of the security community in the region.
According to a recent IDB study, which shows the burden crime places on societies, the direct cost of crime in 2022 reached 3.44% of the region's gross domestic product. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Thanks, Anesta. Rum producers in Barbados and the region are looking for new markets amid concerns about the instability. The revelation from chairman of the West Indies Rum and Spirits Producers Association, Vaughn Renwick. He says they're also worried about the possible threats posed by the new U.S. administration.
We have saying to CARICOM and to CARIFORUM, we want to explore new markets. Our traditional markets in North America and Europe, we're well represented there, but we need to look at new markets further afield, China, India, etc. And we know that CARICOM and CARIFORUM are looking at potential trade initiatives, limited trade initiatives in these areas, and we really want to see some expeditious action here, particularly this year with a new U.S. administration voted in and coming in January. A lot of talk about new tariffs, a lot of issues between Europe and China due to the tariffs on electric vehicles. So a lot of instability in our traditional markets.
Mr. Renwick says the association will present regional heads of government with a special 50th CARICOM anniversary blend at next year's Heads of Government Conference in Barbados in February.
These CARICOM 50th anniversary blends celebrate the achievements of the regional integration movement, and we hope that governments will use them to celebrate what is our premium export in the Caribbean, quality rum, premium rum, and will make them available to their missions overseas to raise the profile of the Caribbean and one of its iconic products. So we'll be handing over those products in the next couple of weeks in each country 20 cases of premium bespoke blends for further distribution.
Students of the Coleridge and Parry School are being encouraged to exude a quiet confidence as they continue in their academic endeavors, and they have been warned against being led astray. The advice from priest in charge of the St. Clement's and St. Swithin Anglican Church, Reverend Michelle Leacock. She was speaking during the keynote address at Coleridge and Parry School's Speech Day. Rachel Agard was there.
Students have the authority to make decisions and form conclusions that affect their future, and those at Coleridge and Parry School have been told not to fall to distractions along their academic journey. The words of encouragement from priest in charge of St. Clement and St. Swithin, Reverend Michelle Leacock, a former head girl.
I also know that you have friends who will try to guide you from time to time, and you have to make the distinction. Is this right? Is this wrong? They suggest many ideas to you, but I'm sure in your youth that you have an understanding who you are to listen to, which one, who is speaking the right.
Principal Sonja Goodrich urges fifth formers to adopt this year's theme of confidence and persistence leads to success as their personal mantra. And she commends parents for their interest in the school's activities and urged further support, noting there is a direct correlation between students' behavior and performance.
Believe in yourselves, because only then will academic success of our previous years be yours and by extension ours as a school. Will it be easy? No, but it's worth it. And if you believe that you can do it and never give up when it gets tough, you will reap the rewards.
Chairman of the Board of Management, Richard Arthur, is encouraging students to look to the future and build their dreams.
Prize winners, I urge you to continue to build upon your successful delight. Of course, we recognize that not everyone will learn at the same pace or even become an academic. Moreover, if you are not receiving today, do not give up. All is not lost. You can still be a member of parliament, a prime minister, a president, a commissioner of police, a priest or pastor, a teacher, or even the principal of this school.
Students sat the CSEC exams in 27 subjects for the first time. 5 of the subjects recorded 100% passes, including the newly introduced theatre arts, while the remaining subjects achieved an 80% and over pass rate, with the biggest improvement seen in physics. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
And congrats to all of the young ones who won big this year at that particular speech day. Now in sports, Coleridge and Parry are overall champions of the 2024 Joseph Payne Memorial Field Events Competition, competing in the 5-school event on their home field at Ashton Hall yesterday. CP totaled 319 points, inclusive of 167 to win the boys section and 152 for second place among the girls. Aline, who captured the girls' title with 187 points, were second overall with 297, while St. George Secondary finished third overall with 284 points. That included third amongst the females with 132. Our Anmar Goodrich Boyce was there.
The boys under 20 long jump is where we begin our coverage. 8 athletes taking flight and already into their third attempt at this stage. And here comes your winner, Chris John Nurse of the Allen School with a leap of 6.30 meters. Javon Allen of St. George was second with 6.04 and Azari Dalloway of CP third, 6.03. To the under 13 girls shot put event, this was also a full field. And reigning BSAT under 13 champion Rajada Hines showed her versatility, capturing the title for the Allen School with a new personal best of 11.39 meters. Courage Paris Zaria Herwood was the runner-up, 7.31, and Anastasia Calendar third, 4.75. And finally, to the under-15 boys discus throw, 5 competitors in this one, and Kamal Armstrong made good use of his home field, winning for Courage Paris with 32.31 meters. Allen's Callie Bryant was second with 29.33, and CP's Eliza Williams third, 26.34. And more Goodrich boys, CBC Sports.
Well, that's it for the morning report. We have a full package of news coming your way at 12 noon here on CBC TV 8. If you're on the move, tune into our radio stations to catch up during the CBC News World at 1. That's on 98.1 FM and simulcast on 94.7 FM and Q 100.7 FM. Time for another break on Morning Barbados, but we'll be back with more. Do stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the community this Thursday.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 7:16. It's time to jingle all the way and win with the compliments of Standard Distribution on Wildy and powered by Flow. So today, here's what we're giving you. A nice entertainment bundle. It may not look exactly like this, but we're giving you some great pieces, compliments of Standard on Wildy. They definitely have some great pieces that you can choose from when you're entertaining all this Christmas season, including some cutlery as well that you definitely would love. And it comes in gold and silver and rose gold. You know, beautiful, beautiful things. We also have some gorgeous urns that you can use. A lot of people use them as motifs for their entry tables or side tables or center tables. So very beautiful for you and very practical these days. Lots of us are using our laptops, working from home. The children are as well. And this is a wonderful gift. It's a laptop cooling and standing pad for them to be able to, while they're doing their work, they keep the computer cool and they don't have that laptop sitting on the lap itself, all right, which can make all the difference. So you can win one of 3 items just by calling me up and answering one simple question. And if you get it right, you pick a number, 1, 2, or 3. Nadia, who's in the back, the producer, she has changed out the numbers, so you know what is where. When you pick a number, you win one of these prizes. Now here is your for today. I'm going to play a clip and you have to tell me what type of music this is. Hit it. You see, that's why you can't leave these people in the back to do anything. So okay, let's see. Call me, 228-5562 or 228-5563. What type of music is it? I have some young people who are coming up next and they were looking around like, what is that? Is that even a music? Yeah. Do you guys know? Yeah, they say they know. You can't answer. You know, from the background. We want people to call in and answer. But they, you know, that wasn't actually the younger guys who answered, just for the record. I don't think they knew, but I'm sure you do. So call me up, 228-5562 or 228-5563, and you can win. Remember, listen to your telephone, not your television. There's a delay. So if you listen to your television, you're going to get very confused and we won't be able to talk. So let's go to the phone line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, welcome. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Gwen.
Gwen?
Yes.
You called in last week?
Yes.
Good stuff, Gwen. It's good to hear you again. Have you decided where you live this week?
The country road.
Because you know last week you lived somewhere else.
Yeah, 2 places I did me.
2 places. So, you know, are you having a good Christmas so far?
No, not with this knee. Not with the arthritis.
Whew, not arthritis.
Yeah, that's what bugging me.
All right, Gwen, do you know the answer to the question? What type of music was that?
Christmas music.
It was Christmas music?
Yes.
Yeah, but Gwen, what type of what type of Christmas?
Oh my God, she should left me alone.
Gwen, have a good day here.
What about my call the last time?
We're going to deliver on that pretty soon. I have to call you. Gwen, I can call you pretty soon, but not today, Gwen.
All right, thank you.
All right, Gwen. All right, love. Bye-bye. Gwen said it was Christmas music. I love that. All right, is there anybody else who wants to try? What type of music is that? Guys, you can play a little piece of it in the background. It's a little added incentive. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Barbados.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm Beverly from St. Philip.
We're in St. Philip, Beverly.
Cape Terrace.
Cape Terrace, I know where that is. That's far.
True.
From where I live in St. Philip, I have to drive about 10 minutes to get to Cape Terrace.
Oh.
And I won't tell you how long it takes me to get here in the morning.
Yeah.
All right, Bev. Do you have the answer? What type of music did we play?
That is parang.
It is parang. Congratulations, Bev.
Thank you.
Did you know that? Did you have to look it up? Did you collaborate with people in the house?
I heard it.
Yes? Do you know where parang originates from?
I think St. Lucia or somewhere down the islands. I'm not sure.
Oh, I think the Trinis love parang a little bit more.
Okay.
Oh. All right. So congratulations to you. It is
you.
actually parang. Do you know the name of the song that was playing?
It's something with Jesus Christ is born.
No, just leave it there because it's going downhill from here. No, Bev. The song that we played was actually Parang by Singing Francine.
Francine, yeah.
Yes, so Francine is definitely, those Trini roots.
Yeah.
Some Bajan ties as well.
Bajan Trini.
All right. Well, have a great day today. You getting ready for Christmas, yes?
Of course.
All right, pick a number. 1, 2, or 3. Let me give you something good.
2.
Number 2. No. This is number 2. So you get the laptop cooling fan. Congratulations. And for being a good sport, I'm going to throw in something a little extra for you as well, all right?
Very good.
Have a great day today. Don't hang up. Nadia and Ruel are in the back, and they're going to take all of your information so that I can reach out and make this happen. Who knows, I might make that drive up to Cape Terrace and bring it for you myself.
That would be good.
All right, see you later.
All right, thank you.
All right, remember the Jingle All the Way and Win promotion is brought to you with the compliments of Standard Distribution and powered by Flow. We're going to be giving away prizes right up until the new year. So stay tuned. It's just about 7:24. We'll be right back.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love pool.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. It's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
All right, so welcome back. It's 7:30 all across the land. We want to tell you about an interesting event that's coming up. It's a rugby crossover event. I have some gentlemen here to tell me a lot more about it and share with you as well, so we don't have to speculate. So joining us, we have Joe Whipple. Welcome back, who's national coach for the Barbados Rugby Football Union. Good to have you back with us.
Thanks. Nice to be here.
And along with Joe, we have Jeremy Nelson, who is a national player.
Yes, please.
Hey, Jeremy.
Hi.
If I saw Jeremy running, coming for rugby, I'd run. Big guy. And Torian Marshall, whom I heard is pretty fast. And he's also a national player. So welcome,
Good
Torian.
morning. Thank you.
All right. So Joe, talk to us. I know that we've had occasion to sit and talk about everything that you're doing and the opportunities that have been made available to athletes who have gotten into the world of rugby here in Barbados, and now you're preparing for a new event.
Yeah, we've got this crossover event. So what we're inviting athletes from different sports, or even if you weren't an athlete, but you want to get involved, at 7 p.m. on Saturday, this Saturday at the Garrison, our fully lit irrigated pitch, which is a pretty special place. So we're going to have folks come out, and we'll have some national players out there. We'll run through some basic skills, and then we'll have some fun games, and then we'll have a little lime afterwards. We might even have an odd beverage or something like that available. So that's all part of the rugby community. That's what we do.
All right, good stuff, Jeremy. What initially piqued your interest in rugby?
The competitiveness of it. It's good. You best another man like yourself. It really gets the blood going. So it's a fun sport, and I reckon anyone can get involved and learn how to play the sport and excel in the sport also. I certainly did, so I reckon anyone can do it too.
Good stuff. What about you, T?
For me, it was watching my cousin playing, having that discipline and work ethic towards the sport. Not only that, but having teammates from the national team encouraged me not to give up, even when it was hard times. Times I doubted myself. I think like anybody can, pursue whatever they believe in, and it will be a good fit for people who, play football, run, anything. It's just bring that work ethic towards that sport, this new opportunity for you.
What are you hoping to kind of accomplish out of this? I know that ultimately you want to maybe discover a few new players that you can add to your teams and so on, but what are you hoping this is able to do for the visibility of the sport here on island?
Yeah, we want to increase that visibility. It is a niche sport. It'll always be a niche sport. It takes special people to play the game, to have a special attitude towards it. But it's a very open community, and as you say, Jeremy's been with us for less than 2 years. Tareen's less than a year, and as Tareen said, we when you come out, it's not a pariah process. It's an encouraging process, and the players want the other players, the new players, to get better. So they're very helpful in that. So it's not just me sort of coaching them. The other players will be very supportive of them.
What about you, Jeremy? Tell us about your journey in rugby.
I think I started playing with the boys 2023.
Yeah.
January 2023.
How did you hear about it?
So when I first moved to Barbados, I met a guy called Mitch, who used to play with us. And I don't know, I can't remember how the conversation got around to rugby, but we started talking about rugby, and obviously I played from back home as well. So he was saying to me, come down. He'd always want me to come down, but I never would. So January 2023, I said, you know what, I'm not doing anything, might as well. So turned up, played around for a little bit, played around, nothing too serious, just like Saturday matches, that type of thing. And then I think Joe spoke to me like after a match one day and was like, yeah, you should come out, train and stuff like that. So yeah, did that. Met with the boys, a lot of the other seasoned players, which really helped me get my skills up and stuff like that. It's a really encouraging forum. The boys, you will feel included. And there's people you can ask questions and stuff to actually improve your game, and people are happy to help all the time. Fast forward to, I think, August was my first cap. August 2023 was my first cap for the national team in Langford, and then been playing since then.
All right, that's excellent. What about you, T?
For me, it was basically, speaking to my cousin at that time. I used to play football, but I didn't have the same interest. I was, tired of it. So I asked my cousin, what should I do? What was the next option? He told me, try rugby, and that's where I got in contact with Daryl Stout, under 19 coach. Then from there, he trained me, and then I met Joe, the head national coach, and from there was basically him and the other teammates teaching me how to improve, and not only improve but to better myself as an individual. I haven't been playing the sport for, like, as Joe said, not for long, less than a year. So if I can do it, anybody could do it, and I would encourage nobody not to give up. Just keep your head and keep going.
All right, that sounds like all we need to say. You talked about everybody coming out, and you joked just before we came on air about somebody coming out who, had a background in dance as well. But is it really anybody at this stage? What type of preparation do you really need to kind of get into the sport, Joe?
No, it's a sport for all sizes. I mean, that's the beauty of the sport. So you can be 140 pounds, you can be 300 pounds, and there's a position for you. I mean, it's a very rare sport where you can be any size. It's more about attitude than anything else. If you got a good attitude and you come out and enjoy yourself, you'll be fine. And then for those ones that are more elite, we've got opportunities in scholarships. We've got opportunities. We have a semi-pro player. We have a player that's going to Shawnigan Lake, a private school in Canada. That scholarship's worth over 300,000 Barbados.
Wow.
So there's some pretty big opportunities if you want to get to that level. But if you want to just play, at the Garrison and that's your role, that's great too.
All right, tell us a little bit about the space this new fully lit space that you talked about for people to be able to come in at the Garrison and play the sport?
Yeah, we've got an incredible facility now. I mean, we have, thanks to National Sports Council, BOA, working with different partners, we are able to have a fully lit pitch, and it's a very good lit pitch. 40-foot towers, 10 towers, 8 LEDs on every tower. We've got an irrigated pitch. We can put 100 gallons of water a minute on our pitch if we need to during the dry season. And we work with the Barbados Turf Club, which have been very good to us. I think we're the only sports pitch in Barbados that's got an underground sprinkler system. So it's a pretty unique and pretty neat system that we have. And our facility is probably it is probably the best facility in the Caribbean for rugby.
Good stuff. What are you looking forward to most in competing in rugby or competitive rugby? Where do you hope it takes you?
To get a scholarship, of course, that's anybody's dream, but right now it's to just get better and to help my teammates as they help me. Is my way of giving back. Like, my first cap was like, I think it was this year.
Yeah, it was this year.
This year for 15s.
St. Lucia.
St. Lucia. It was a very good opportunity, looking at different cultures and looking at how other Caribbean countries play rugby. And it was not only a good opportunity for me, but it was a good opportunity to know other people as well as my teammates. So I would just keep at it and keep going.
Yeah, you feel better about this? I know you said that the interest in football was waning a little bit, so now rugby has you back with that fervor that you had before for sports?
Yes, please.
All right.
I lost it, but I've gained it back.
With rugby?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. I'm so happy that we're hearing so much more about the sport. I think for a lot of us looking on, we felt as though based on the little clips that I would see online, I was like, oh, this game is so rough and tumble. My goodness. But from your perspective, because you're here looking at me and smiling like, no way.
You don't feel it.
Yeah, you don't?
You don't. When you're in game mode, it's normal. It's like walking. It's not as rough as you think it is. It's very controlled. Very controlled. I mean, in terms of like injuries and stuff like that, I know you would think that you get injured a lot, but hardly ever. I mean, you could go through a whole entire match and not have to make one tackle. In terms of like concussions, that type of things, you do have like HIA, where it's very strict. Like it's very strict on it. Like you get one head injury, you're off. So there are protocols in place that do safeguard players. I mean, it looks like we're just running into each other but it's controlled. It's very controlled.
I'll take your word for it. I know that the ladies are also very active. Is this an open call for the ladies as well, or just the gents on this occasion?
For this event, it's just for the men. The women have their own events, which they're promoting as well, which they've done very successfully, actually.
All right, so is there a registration process, or do you just show up? How does it work once we get there?
Well, there's two different ways. One, you can just show up at 7 o'clock. There is, if you go on the 246, the BRFU has a Facebook website, and they have an Instagram 246. And so you can go on that, and there's actually a QR code, and you can register through that. But if you haven't registered, you can still show up at 7 o'clock on this Saturday at the Garrison.
And of course, people are welcome to come out and just observe, yes?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so it sounds like it's going to be an interesting time. I'm always very, very intrigued when I hear about the game. It will be interesting to see it kind of unfolding with new people and you guys kind of walking them through the ropes as in how it goes and so on. And you're calling it something very, very interesting. So it's a crossover, scouting combined. So any sport at all?
Any sport, even if you haven't played
any
a sport.
size, any height?
Yep.
Any age restrictions?
We prefer to have like 17 and over.
Over 17.
Yeah, 17 and over. If you're 16 and you feel like it, that's fine. We're not.
Okay, but not too young.
No, we're not.
So late teens.
Yeah.
And onwards.
Yep.
No cutoff at the other end.
No.
All right, so come as you are, any age. if you're feeling young and you want to learn the game of rugby, this might be the one for you. It's coming up this Saturday, December 14th at the historic Garrison Savannah. Start time is 7 o'clock, so you want to make sure that you get there early so that, you can register and do all that you need to do to experience the sport. Yeah? Final word of encouragement from you, Coach.
Yeah, just come out and enjoy yourself and give it a shout. If you love to compete, it's a great sport.
Yeah, and these guys have been playing for 1 and 2 years respectively, and they've both traveled as a part of the national team. Certainly sounds like there are lots of opportunities that are available through the sport as well. So you might be feeling a little disillusioned with the sport you're in. It's not doing for you what it did before. Now is a great opportunity to try something else this Saturday at the Garrison. Thank you, gentlemen. It was wonderful speaking with you. And for the record, he knew it was Parang. They did not. All right, time for another break. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. It's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affairs segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best.
Good morning to you.
It's 7:45 as we get closer to the end of the year. We wanted to reflect on some of these wonderful times that we've had throughout the year. And so we're doing some flashback clips of some very interesting people that shared with us as we prepared for one of the biggest events on the Barbadian sporting calendar. Early this year, we had a young racetrack announcer called Rashawn Aline who came in to talk to us about how he got into being an announcer at the racetrack. He eventually was the presenter that we used for our presentation of the Gold Cup this year, and we wanted to look back at that interview. It was a wonderful mixture of funny, interesting, engaging, and most certainly aspirational. Today, our salute to an exceptional youth is also a young man who is going to be a part of our commentary team for Gold Cup for 2024. How about that? So we're kind of killing two birds with one stone. And this young man has an amazing story. He's going to be with us on Saturday from just after 4. So help me say good morning to Rashawn Aline. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Tisha. Good morning, Barbados.
Good to have you with us. So talk to me. You were the very first young commentator, or you were the youngest commentator at the Garrison Savannah for horse racing. Talk to me about that. How did you get into horse racing, first of all?
So my family, they're big into horse racing. My dad and his dad, we've been going to the track for as long as I can remember. I went as a fan, and then I was there all the time, just running in between races, you know, racing and commentary, like as it's going. So I wanted to be a jockey, and as you can see, I quickly outgrew that. And being over 200 pounds, I wouldn't have been very successful. And I just wanted another avenue to get into the sport, actively into the sport. And there was this horse called Apostle, a fan favorite, and there was a race that he won, and I was able to recite that race going all the time. So I used that as an avenue, and I reached out when I was very young to Mrs. Pierce, the CEO of the Turf Club, and she was more than willing to give me the opportunity. So I started out doing basic on-air stuff, like doing the starters and runners and weights. And then by the time I was 18, I was calling actual live racing, and that was in 2019, and I did that through 2021.
That is an amazing story. What gave you that extra courage to call Mrs. Rosette Pierce and say, hey, I'm 16 years old and I think I can commentate horse racing?
So my mentor from the race that I was talking about with Apostle, he was the person who I was like idolizing. His name is Kelly Walker, and I was working with him a lot when I was younger. He gave me my first pair of binoculars, and he was a commentator.
To watch the horses going around the track?
Yes, to watch the horses going around the track.
You were really a fan.
Oh, I was crazy behind it.
Let me say you are a fan.
Still am a fan, and he's the one that said, hey, I think you're good enough. It doesn't matter how old you are. Talent doesn't, care about how old you are. So if you want to do this, and if you're going to take it seriously, by all means, reach out, and you have my support. And they were very welcoming at the Turf Club. They were very surprised, obviously, because I was 16, but I reached out and they were like, go for it. And it was an amazing experience.
Well, obviously, because here you are commentating on a broadcast that I would imagine you would have grown up watching.
Exactly. It's like I go to Gold Cup every year. This was our version of the Kentucky Derby, our biggest day of the year. So it's very exciting. One, to be on the side of a fan and seeing the coverage and being a part of it. But now being on the other side of the camera, where I get to bring that information, that broadcast to other people, other young Rashans, for example, it's really an honor and a thrill.
That's truly beautiful. And speaking of young Rashans, we love to salute young people. So, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
To you. This is just a really feel-good story, because I see a lot of the little ones running around. As a matter of fact, I've spent a lot of time at the Garrison Savannah over the last 2 days as we've been preparing for Gold Cup. And I met a little girl, maybe this tall. If she's 2 years old, she's old. But she had a horse, a little horsey, and she was pointing at the other horse in the winner's circle. And the only word she was saying for the whole time she was there was horse.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's when it starts. That's probably when I was indoctrinated. It's like you start, you just keep going, and then you bend a race book into a whip, and you're sitting on a railing or your dad's shoulders. And probably that's why I wanted to be a jockey. But again, that dream went through the window. But that's when it starts. That's when because that's all you know in your life. You're growing up, you're seeing the horses. They're such magnificent animals, and you just want to be around them, and you want to be a part of the sport. And that is when it starts, when you are that small, and it's never too late for anyone to get into the sport, but really the young ones, when their eyes light up when the horses pass. I have a younger sister, and I took her to the track when I was here last summer, and you could just see the pure euphoria in her face when horses pass, and it's amazing to see.
That's true. I want you to take us along for the point in time where you realized, I love horses a lot. You mentioned that it's a intergenerational thing. So, when it was time for horse racing or time to go down to the track, what were conversations like in your home?
So conversations in my home about horse racing are frequent. They can be from minutes in passing to hours. If you go in our home, there's old race books spanning years. My grandmother probably doesn't like that, but but it was just like everyone is into horse racing and we are having these conversations. So I don't know if there's ever been a point where I'm like, okay, I love horse racing. It's just, I know that I've loved horse racing from the get-go. And it's just been something that my family has rallied around me and supported, because not everyone in my family loves horse racing, but the majority does. And they just continue to push me. They're like, whatever you want to do, we'll support. And that's how it's been. Everyone's just supported me in horse racing, and horse racing's just been running through my veins from the time I was born.
What's the very first horse race that you remember maybe standing and watching? I think there are names that are stuck in my head only because maybe the late Carew kind of memorialized them in song. Bentham and Stafford Prince. And, you know, I remember that time where, pardon me, Sandy Lane Crew, where it was the Cockspur Gold Cup, and we look forward to the majorettes. And for me, it wasn't horse racing every day, but most certainly the place that the Gold Cup held in Barbadians' heart was the place to be. You had to be at the Gold Cup.
So I've seen so many, obviously, old footage of the Cockspur Gold Cup, and it was crazy just seeing the turnout. Like, the rails are people. You can't see the rails. It's just people, flooding the garrison. For my generations, I've only experienced the Sandy Lane Gold Cup. But the first race that I think I remember is with a horse called Talk About Lucky. And that's when I was small enough to be on my dad's shoulders. I guess he was excited she was winning. And I remember being completely terrified because he was jumping up and down. And I can just feel, no control of how he's moving. I'm on his shoulders. I'm like, absolutely scared, not scream or anything, but it was just very, unsettling to be in that moment. But I remember Talk About Lucky, who was very unlucky in a lot of Gold Cups that she was in. But yeah, that's the first horse race I think I remember is Talk About Lucky, which is like early 2000s. So I would have been about 3 or 4.
Well, obviously the Talk About Lucky was referring to you staying on those shoulders.
Yes, right, exactly.
With all of that excitement.
Exactly.
So maybe the horse was unlucky, but you most certainly
very much so
were not.
Yeah.
How were you able to juggle your love for horse racing, this extra activity, getting into commentary and so on with school?
So unfortunately, because of where we are and what we have, we don't race that frequently. So it's probably every other weekend, so twice a month that we'd have horse racing. But a lot of my friends were made through horse racing, so I go to school with them. And we go to school and we would have the in-between conversations like with my family. But when it came time for horse racing, I was gung-ho to that, really focused on that. So it just came with a little bit of discipline where, you have your studies, you have your homework that you have to complete, but then you also want to give out a proper product for horse racing. And this is at the time when I was talking about when I was in commentary, and you want to put out a proper product, so you have to be disciplined and studying with that as well. So it's just a bunch of time management, because I also play volleyball, so it was also managing a sport. So it was just being disciplined, knowing what I want in life and knowing what I want to be good at, and putting in the work to get those results out.
All right, beautiful. Rashawn is going to stay here with us. Again, if you missed it, he's a part of our commentary team for Saturday's Gold Cup presentation. He's also our featured exceptional youth for today. When we come back, we're going to talk about what he's doing right now. He's not based in Barbados, so he's here just for this action. That's all coming up next. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It really is wonderful to kind of look back on all of the things we were able to do this year. And there were a few things for us to reflect on with that particular video. Our stint with standard distribution. Of course, there's still our...
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so we hope you had a good time looking back at those videos. Of course, brings back memories of the good times we had at Standard when we were on the move. We just might be moving a little bit more. It's Thursday. That means it's Q Day. I certainly hope you're heading out to Q in the community today. Make sure you get on out and join us over at Dover Playing Field, Christchurch, hosted by Drink and Laugh It Off Bar. Drink and Laugh It Off Bar. The Q bus will leave gate number 1 from the Granville Williams bus terminal. The first trip is at 11 o'clock this morning. So if you want to get there a little earlier, you have to go ahead. But if you want the Q bus, you can get it as well. Check out our live stream on Q100.7 FM on Facebook. And it will be broadcast live on Q100.7 FM from around 12 noon. Also, history was made in Barbados, we told you yesterday, with Udally Wickham, the first blind person with lead Tony to compete Run Barbados. You know, that is just an incredible feat. And we had Udally here with us on the day dedicated to persons with disabilities, and she was really excited to do that Run Barbados. She was a runner before, so she was really happy to get back into it. So congratulations to you, Udally. Congratulations as well to Tony for working with her in achieving this amazing goal. Spinney picked Hannah out to lead the group at his cultural cardio warm-up session at Run Barbados, and she did a great job. Let's take a look at that.
2, 3, no! Spinny, 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 spinny. Drop your bumper for me. Spinny, 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 spinny. Yeah. No, squat down, get down. Make some noise for Hannah, get me. Country call it in and breathe. When the music start to play, you can do an exercise or dance. Everybody here, or do what you can do an exercise or dance. Exercise, ready? Everybody ready? DJ play before we start. What do you want to say? No, bend over there, I'm falling half. 6:30 or 4:15. Lift your butt and take a spot and feel the burning all in your ass. Spread your feet apart. Get ready to build some abs. Like in, out, in, out. Now walk up in the spin class, girl. Spinny, 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 spinny. Drop your bumper for me. Spinny, spinny.
That was a good one. So congrats to everyone who competed in Run Barbados 2024. Hey, that's it for today's show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for playing Jingle All the Way and Win. We're going to have some new and even more exciting prizes for you tomorrow. Plus, our friends from Answer Motors will be back. They're bringing 2 other cars right here on set. Who knows, I might do the entire show from one of the cars. But we want to make sure that we get you in a beautiful car before the season is gone or early in the new year. So our friends from Answer Motors will be back. Also coming up tomorrow is Fresh Fridays. Dwayne Husbands, a household name in Barbados, he will be here. Mixologist Lyndon Bevell is going to be mixing up some of the nice things that we're looking forward to, the spirits for the Christmas. Plus, former St. Catherine's captain, now coach in the U.S., is going to be sharing with us. And we're going to have winners of the 2024 National Primary Schools Diabetes Quiz all on tomorrow's show. So make sure you tune in from 6 a.m. On behalf of the entire team, have a great day today, and we'll see you, God willing, tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.